Hey everybody. Hello. You having a good weekend? Actually, oh yeah, I know it's only Friday, but I've got family here today and tomorrow and Sunday, so my weekend's already started. I did watch some of Foodie yesterday. Got my my wee willy winky hat on again, look, keeping me warm. I did watch her and Salah, who was in the chat. Here they are. What a lovely couple, eh? What a lovely couple. But, Salah, you need to get your wife in line. If indeed she is your wife, you need to sort of educate her as to what is and is not welcome in Islam, or indeed to a Muslim husband. She wrote a community post of, I don't know, about 5 hours ago, and I'm going to read it because, I'm going to read it because I wrote it down. So, she says, this is in response to a video that Pete did that showed the scales were off by £100. Well, he showed they were off by £100, so they were off by £100. The fact that you and he have both weighed yourselves on it previously and Pete's came up at a correct weight means nothing. You could have got on it, the last one to go on it, and, keep addressing the little, the thing that you manoeuvre to detract the pounds. Anyway, you could have manoeuvred that quite easily, manipulated that quite easily for the last time that you weighed yourself. So your community post says, the scale is off by £100. Okay, so explain every other weighing Pete did that accurately weighed him. LOL. Well, I just have. Pete could have gotten on the scale when it was correct. You went, manipulated the thing at the back, and, dropped 50 to £100. Easily done. I'll continue the community post. Anyway, check your fat phobia. That's us. Check your fat phobia. Because I could care less if I weighed £800. Well, clearly you could care less because you're doing a community post all about it when you're on your honeymoon period with Salah. Anyway, check your fat phobia because I could care less if I weighed £800. Still hot. Still awesome. Fat and all. Actually, having a fat as ASAZZZ just means more room for all of you to kiss. Yalla. That isn't decorum. That isn't what you would expect from a demure Muslim woman. That isn't what we would expect from Salah's wife, is it? No. And particularly taking into account that last night, as Foodie was doing her live stream, Salah was sat behind her. He's got a new phone. I wonder where he got that from. It is repeating itself. We'll an Apple Mac be next. Anyway, he's got a new phone and he was happily, fiddling about with his phone, going down the Beezer's names, all these people who have been paying Chantal for content and receiving nothing in return. And he was blocking people again. He, Fupa Princess, he wanted her to change her picture. I think I mentioned this before. Because she didn't change it quickly enough, she was blocked. There was another one. What makes you feel that you have the right to come in and, dictate to your new wife, if she is your wife, dictate to her and she's happy to go along with it. But don't start shouting people out for the profile pictures they've got. If they're showing Chantal in all her glory, she actually posed for those pictures. They couldn't be on there had she not allowed the camera to take pictures of her. And there are some quite raunchy pictures. You haven't seen anything, Salah. You haven't. So, why couldn't that have been done in a more decorous way, that you've got a certain hardcore of Beezers who will constantly support, constantly come into your live streams, constantly comment. You know who they are. You could have gotten on to your list of creators, gone down and, looked at what pictures they've got and decided off camera that you'd, text them, email them, whatever, DM them, whatever, and let them know that they wouldn't be allowed on chat until they changed their picture. Instead of which you had to do it live. And I guess that's Salah flexing, showing what a good sunny Muslim he is and a big macho male he is. With his little matchstick arms. And get your wife under control before you start worrying about the pictures. She has been bankrupt once. A bankruptcy that's not and that was discharged. A bankruptcy that is not yet discharged. She should pay it. The prophet, peace be upon him, said words to the effect of, the best person is one who fulfills their debts. And somewhere in the Quran, it also says that, it indicates that if a person has got the means to pay off what they owe, then they most definitely should pay off what they owe. And she's not doing that. And you can't say that it's because she hasn't got the money, because she's boasted. Time and again she's boasted. She makes more than $10,000 a month, every month, regardless. Some months, $20,000. That was during the Nada arc. I honestly can't see her making that again with you as the person behind, like a big black shadow, a big black crow, overseeing all the comments and overseeing everything that everybody says. Who do you think you are? You're a 28-year-old namby-pamby, Sunni Muslim who couldn't even find a job in your own country. You had to emigrate to Kuwait, and now, of course, you want to leave the Middle East, it would appear, and get a visa to work in Canada. And the easiest way to do that was to get on Tinder, stipulate that you wanted to meet women in Ottawa. Why would you do that if it wasn't to get a visa? There's a dating application called, I think it's called Muslima. I think it's Muslima. And you've got Muslim women on there who are looking for partners, for husbands. Some are from Kuwait, live in Kuwait. Most of them live in Kuwait, actually, but some of them are originally from the Philippines. But quite a few from Kuwait, very attractive career women at the moment, and I suppose they don't want to be a career woman any longer, and they'd like to find a husband. Why didn't you go on the Muslima site and meet somebody in Kuwait who wouldn't have to fly to the other side of the world to meet you, and who doubtless, when you met her in the flesh, all that flesh, what a sight that would have been. As I said before, Tinder really is a site geared towards making men feel as though they are accepted, as though they can't go wrong, because there's all these females, and they've picked out, which ones they want, where they want them. And you've got the women hankering after the men. The men can pick out the ones who match with them, who needy women who he can't really go wrong with, because they're not going to reject him. It minimises his risk of rejection, targeting these vulnerable women. And he certainly picked one with Chantal. I noticed also in the live stream, every time Aisha commented, Salah's face lit up. Aisha, I know, is, somebody mentioned, could she be one of, I doubt it, a wife, I doubt it very much. She's just a beezer of Chantal's, isn't she? But she's a Muslim. She's coming from nowhere the past few months, advising Chantal on various things, how to tie the hijab, but that lesson sort of fell on stony ground, didn't it? Because she still can't do it. But every time Aisha came on, Salah's little face lit up. It did. His gurney face lit up. And he even told Chantal how to pronounce Aisha's name properly, because Chantal was saying Aisha. No, it's Aisha. Well, why don't you go the whole hog, the whole remit, and explain to Chantal who Aisha was, in fact, in the history, in the context of the Quran. Aisha was the third wife of the Prophet Muhammad, and I'm not sure how many children she gave him, but Aisha was the third of 13 wives. Let that sink in. And Chantal said in one of the live streams that she did before she went out to Kuwait, that if Salah took a second wife, that she would make mincemeat of her. Mincemeat is my word. I don't want to use the M for murder word. But that's if you took a second wife. Well, Muslim men are allowed to take 4. The Prophet Muhammad had 13 wives. Why should Salah, as a good Sunni Muslim hot-blooded male, aged 28 years, who wants a family, tie himself to a 40-year-old, barren, bald, morbidly obese Canadian? You can't give him children. And that's not, I keep coming out with these phrases and I don't mean to. That's not hitting below the belt. You can't give him children. And he said he wants a family. You've said you want a family. So the most logical way for that to happen would be for him to take a second wife, if you're his first. And if he can afford it, or rather, if you can afford it, because everything you've got, of course, becomes your husband's, doesn't it? So, have a happy life, inshallah, and I'll be back with another video tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.